meaning to do a review slash what's on my phone for about a year now, ever since I got this phone, which is the iPhone 6 Plus. I got this when it first was released, and I think it came out last year, so 2014 in October or November. And ever since then, I've gotten so many questions about this phone, the size, and also, I guess, what apps I use. And I'm sorry it's taken me so long to do this video, but I have some free time this afternoon, so I figured I would show you guys what's on my phone. So first, let's talk about the phone, because I, over the past year, have received a lot of questions about it, how I like it, would I switch to the smaller version, so the 6. I absolutely love it, and I have no regrets in deciding or picking up the 6 Plus. I use my phone every single day, and I like that it has a really large battery, so it can usually get through the entire day on one single charge. I still do carry an external battery kind of pack with me, but for the most part, I'll get home at the end of the day and also have like 20-30% battery at least, and I use my phone quite regularly throughout the day. I also really love the screen size on the 6 Plus. I would have been happy with the screen size on the 6, but I just like the extra real estate. I don't feel like the iOS utilizes the big screen well enough, but I'm happy with the screen size, especially if you're doing social media or watching YouTube or videos or taking pictures. As for the size of this phone, it did take a little bit of getting used to. I don't have overly large hands. I feel like I have pretty average hands, but I can hang on to it with one hand if I had to. It's difficult really to text with one hand, but as long as I'm not reaching all the way over across the screen, then it's fine. I do prefer to text or email with two hands just because it's a bit easier and quicker to do so, but I don't feel like my ability to use this one-handed is diminished. So if you double tap on the home button, it kind of brings half of the screen down. I don't really utilize it that often. Whenever it is enacted, it's usually because of an accident. I didn't mean to do it. But for the most part, it is okay for one-handed use. It doesn't fit in every pocket, but for the most part, that doesn't bother me at all. I'll either have it in my hand or in my purse. It doesn't really bother me that it doesn't fit into like skinny jean pockets. Just so you guys know, I was coming from the iPhone 5. So from the iPhone 5S to the new 6 Plus, there isn't really that much of a difference aside from the larger screens. However, from the 5 to the 6 or 6 Plus, it was quite a big, significant upgrade. So larger screen, faster processor, better camera. I also got the fingerprint reader, which I do utilize quite a lot. And overall, I'm just really happy with the upgrade to this. I have no intention on upgrading to the 6S Plus or the 6S at all. I'm actually really happy with the 6 Plus right now. Even with the new iOS, so I think this is running iOS 9 point, I don't know, whatever the latest one is, I haven't noticed it, make my phone laggy. I probably wouldn't upgrade to the iOS 10 whenever that comes out, because if you're an Apple user, you just know that with every iOS upgrade, your phone becomes more and more sluggish unless it is with also a model upgrade. But for the most part, I'm very happy with this phone, and I have no intentions on upgrading anytime soon. This phone suits my needs, and I like the usability of it. Let's talk about what is on my phone. This part will likely be a very quick segment because I just have a lot of boring things on my phone. There isn't really anything super unique. So when I turn my phone on, my wallpaper is this calendar that I downloaded for free from Inkwell Press, I believe. I will link them below in case you're interested also. I just basically signed up for their newsletter, and every once in a while, essentially monthly and sometimes during like special holidays and occasions, they will send out a downloadable calendar. So I'm gonna use the fingerprint reader to open up my phone, and this is my home screen. My home screen is probably a minimalist's nightmare because For you guys, it probably looks like a jumbled mess, but for me, everything has its place and I'm familiar with the layout, so it actually works quite well for me. So I have the boring things like the calendar, the notes, photos. I actually don't ever use this Viso cam, so let's just delete that right now. Okay, so changed some things around. I actually rarely use the Apple Calendar nowadays. I have switched to Google Calendar. If I wasn't a Google Sheet before, I am now. Everything in my life electronic wise revolves around Google. So I use Google Drive, I use Google Calendar, Google Mail, Google Maps. Everything is just revolving around that giant beast. So I upload all of my events and appointments and things I need to do on Google Calendar. This week is looking pretty bare. I haven't actually added anything to this week's calendar yet. I like the layout of Google Calendar rather than the Apple Calendar. I just feel like having the weekly view like this is very visually appealing to me, and I like the summary page a lot better on Google Calendar because it is prettier to look at. This is what the summary page looks like on Google Calendar, and like I said, it just looks a lot more visually appealing. I didn't actually add these Star Wars items on here, but I did. Google is having this, I don't know whether it's promotional or something, but you can actually integrate Star Wars into all of your Google apps, and I chose to do so. You can either choose between the light and the dark, and I chose the dark just because, I don't know, I thought it'd be more fun. So they have kind of integrated that into different aspects of their Google apps. Then we have notes and photos, which are kind of boring. I really like the new updated notes version. I used to have a different third-party app for notes, but now that they have integrated bullet points and formatting on their notes app, I actually solely just use notes. The next one is the Weather Network app, and there are a lot of fancier, prettier weather apps out there, but I just like the regular old weather app because it tells me everything that I need to know. Then I have all of my photo apps. This is a folder that I just stuck everything into. It's all kind of photography related, so that's why I put the little emoji for a camera instead of actual words. I just like using the emojis, I don't know why. So these are kind of my favorite photo editing, photography related apps, I guess. Afterlight is what I use to edit my photos. As you can see, I have up here the latest thumbnail for my last holiday vlog. So you can change things like the contrast and the brightness to whatever you want. And it also has some really cool filters. Some of them are really awful, but some of them are really good. So it has an assortment of different filters that you can use. Then Picframe, so just to put all of your pictures into a collage, which again I use for my thumbnails. Layout is an Instagram version of Picframe. The only reason I don't use Layout is because they limit the aspect ratio of your collages, as opposed to Picframe where I can do a 16:9 ratio. And then I have Spotify and music. I really liked Apple Music and I would subscribe to that, but I have 2 years free of Spotify because I upgraded my plan with Fido, so I have 2 years with them. And lately I have been listening to Christmas music. So I kind of alternate between the different playlists here. Sometimes I'll just play the radio, sometimes Christmas pop if I'm feeling poppy, or Christmas in Canada, they play a lot of Michael Bublé. So I just like the holiday music. And I have kind of my social media apps. I use Instagram the most, so that's kind of why it's out on the main screen. But these are all of the other apps, social media apps that I have. So Twitter, I've rarely used Twitter nowadays. Sometimes I just check it to get the most up-to-date news. Snapchat, I actually have been really obsessing over. Now that I've been vlogging a little bit more, I haven't been snapping a lot, but during that time when I wasn't really vlogging a lot, I would use Snapchat as a vlog. So I really like Snapchat. I'm actually quite addicted to it. Facebook, again, I don't really use it, it's just there. I downloaded Beme to support Casey Neistat, and I do use it sometimes. I used it a lot on my trip when I was in Shanghai, but I haven't really used it since. I just don't know where it kind of fits into my social media life, because I have my Snapchat and I have my Instagram, and Beme is kind of like Snapchat, but not. And I like the idea of it. I like how easy it is to post content, but it just hasn't really found a spot in my life yet. Next is Next Issue. I really like reading magazines on the go. Sometimes I'll just download a whole bunch, and if I ever have kind of like a lull in my day, whether I'm waiting for an appointment or I'm like in the car, as long as I'm not driving, I just like to bust out a magazine. And because I have the 6 Plus, it's actually really easy for me to read magazines on here. I don't feel like my eyes are straining to read the content. I just subscribed to the basic subscription service, so I think it's like $9.99 a month. And I'm very happy with the selection of magazines. It's just a really handy app. They used to be called Next Issue, but now they're called Texture. Don't know what's with that name change, but if you like reading magazines on the go, then I would highly recommend this. You can use one account for different devices, so I have it on mine. My mom uses my account for her iPad, and then we have an iPad that uses the same account, so you can use it on multiple devices. And I have 2 browsers here, so one is Safari and the other one is Opera Mini. I actually really like Opera Mini because they have this night mode, which actually dims the screen and also turns it into almost like a sepia color. And it's really great if you're using this at night, if you're looking at this, especially when it's dark. It just, you know, it doesn't cause a strain on your eyes. So I really like that night mode option. I wish Safari actually instituted that. I wish the whole iPhone had a night mode so that it wasn't just so bright. Even when it's set at the very lowest setting here, it still is super bright sometimes. If you're a car owner and you have to fill up at a gas station, I would highly recommend that you download the Gas Buddy app. It is the best app for determining what prices are in your area. Then we have Stylebook. Now, Stylebook is something I haven't used in quite a while. It's been probably months since I've used it, but it was just a really great way to organize my wardrobe and also plan my outfits. Stylebook is an app, you have to pay for it. I don't remember how much it was, but I don't think it was like cheap. It wasn't 99 cents, but it's a really great app. It takes a bit of time to curate all of your looks because essentially you take a photo of your clothing items. So in order to build your closet on the app, you actually have to take a photo of every single clothing item you have. So I wouldn't recommend doing this all at once because you will literally go crazy. This is like a little curated collection of all of my work looks. So I put together a whole bunch of different outfits using the closet items that I curated, and as you can see, I have a whole bunch of different outfits. Some of them look the same, but that's because it'll be like the same top but 2 different pants or different shoes, things like that. On the other page, my second page, I only have 3 pages really. The first one is like my finance page, so that's where I have Tangerine, my TD app, PayPal, my Fido account, because that's the network provider I'm with. And I have this folder which has all of the other miscellaneous apps like Cineplex, Shoppers, Starbucks. I actually use my Starbucks app a lot, especially with the new ordering system. I always order a beverage before I leave for work, and then I pass a Starbucks on my way to the highway, so I just pick it up there. Very convenient. Zomato, which replaced Urban Spoon. Urban Spoon was one of my favorite kind of apps to see different restaurants and reviews for restaurants, but it's now replaced with Zomato. Flipp is a good one if you like to know what deals are happening in your area. My other folder is for miscellaneous items too. This is more for like productivity related ones. So I have Google Drive, Google Sheets, which is a Google version of Excel spreadsheets, Pages, which is the Apple version of Word, and then iZip, which is sometimes I'll get zipped files in emails. This is a good app to use to unzip folders so you can actually view the files. Then I have Dictionary because sometimes you just don't know a word or you're looking for another word for a word, and I like to use this because it has, you know, definitions and also synonyms. Last time I used Uber was in Shanghai, and I just kept it there in case I need to use it one day. iHonk Lite is like a really funny app. I actually downloaded this while we were in Shanghai because I was thinking about how I wanted to be able to honk at people like outside of my vehicle, because sometimes I just want to do that. The funny thing is you can choose the car or the steering wheel, so you can choose between the M3, Ferrari, Lamborghini, Vantage, GTR. So I just went with the M3, it's just a default. And you actually can choose the car honk sound. So I just went with car honk 2. And yeah, so if people ever annoy you as a pedestrian, you can honk at them using this app. You essentially just press on the middle of the steering wheel and you can honk at people. And then my last page only has one lone folder in it, and as you can see from the title here, it is all of the products or all of the apps that Apple puts on your phone but doesn't allow you to delete or hide. There's just a myriad of different items here. So if you're wondering why I don't have the camera app on my main screen here, it's because I always just flip this up and then I launch the camera that way. The last thing is what I have on my home bar, which is what I call the 4 icons here at the very bottom. Inbox is what I use as my new mail service. It is a product by Google. Again, it's not just the regular Gmail inbox, it is actually called Inbox. It just looks a bit different. I like it because it actually will sort all of the categories. So I'm sure like most people, I am subscribed to way too many promotional newsletters. I tend to sign up for them because they'll offer like 10% off or 20% off if you sign for their newsletter. So I will sign up. So I like that it will group all of those emails together. So all of the promos, all of the updates, all of like my primary emails that I want to be notified of. As you can see, this is another way that Google has integrated the Star Wars theme into other apps. And then this is my home app, which I have my Nest and my Wink app on. So the Nest app is to control our thermostat and also our Nest Cam, which is like our security camera. And then the Wink app is what controls all of our Wink lights. So for example, behind me, we have a Wink app or a Wink light in this arc lamp over here. And one of my favorite things about the Wink app is that you can actually integrate it into your notifications bar. So we have different shortcuts here and also each individual Wink light. So if I wanted to turn this on, this arc lamp on, I could just do it with my phone. So you can see it there turning on. So I have 4 different shortcuts here. So one is if I am home alone, it will actually turn on every light. So if I just press it, this will probably go on. I just, you know, want all the lights on if I'm gonna be by myself because I don't want to go home to a dark house. And then at the same time, I have the button for lights out, which will turn every light off. But I really like the Wink lights, and if you're looking for lights that you can, you know, control with your phone, I would definitely recommend those. But that's what I keep on my phone, pretty utilitarian stuff. Nothing fun like games or anything like that, but it works for me and my lifestyle, so that's just how I have everything organized. I hope you guys enjoyed this little review slash what's on my phone, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!